Hey, what is going on, guys? This is going to be the second iteration of our talk on the way we develop our pictures here at BST and our philosophy behind it. So right now I'm going to go into a little more into depth about these rotational forces and how we can start hacking at our own movements, especially during this downtime right now, to be at the best possible form when we're coming back. Okay, so the biggest thing we need to focus on in these rotational forces is something called the kinematic sequencing. Okay, so we need to make sure that the sequencing of whenever one individual body part does fire, making sure it's firing at the right time to get the most force multiplier traveling up our body into the ball. Okay, so there's been a lot of studies done that talk about this sequencing and what the right sequencing is. Through a lot of studies, they put markers on baseball players in certain parts of their body to see what body parts are firing at what given time. And what they found, right, is that the correct or the best way up until this point to fire these kinematic sequencing events is first, right, we rotate our hips, okay, then we rotate our shoulders, right, to our torso, and then our arm rotates into internal rotation, okay? So let's start with our hips, okay? So we have our hips here. Let's just say this is our person right here, okay? And we have our lower half right here, okay? So how our hips rotate, okay, is with our back leg, okay? Once we drive off our back leg and we really rotate off that back leg, our back knee will internally rotate, right? So our back knee will drive down, internally rotating into our pelvis to start that hip rotation. And then once our front leg gets down, right, our hips will rotate this way. Our front leg will stay consistent to let our pelvis rotate around it, while our front hip internally rotates as well. Okay, so the biggest thing is both of our hips go into these rotation modes. So our back leg internally rotates, then once our front leg is down, our front leg internally rotates, and that creates, right, we talked about that last video, that stretch multiplier effect or stretch shortening cycle, where now our hips are fully rotated and our shoulders have yet to rotate yet, okay? So that first part of the kinematic sequencing that we really need to focus on is rotating our pelvis completely open. And to do that, we internally rotate that back hip. And then once our front leg's down, we internally rotate that front hip. Okay. And the next thing, after we rotate our hips, right? So now our hips are fully rotated. Okay. So our hips are facing the hitter, right? So both of our feet are now facing the same direction. Okay, hips are fully rotated. Now we have all this stretch in our core, okay, that creates that multiplier. The force is transferring up the body into the core. Now our shoulders, right, are the next to rotate. Our upper body rotates, okay, this way now. So we rotate forward using that linear and rotational forces, okay? While our upper body and our arm stays relaxed. I think this is where a lot of pitchers get into issues, right? Once our front foot's down, a lot of athletic or amateur pitchers, they go, okay, it's time to throw the ball. So they get their front foot down and their arm gets way out in front of their face. So instead of getting into the normal arm external rotation to internal rotation, they're going from adduction to abduction out in front of their face. And they're losing a ton of velocity because they're not letting that energy transfer up. See, all this energy that you created with your lower half, if you get down and you don't let it transfer up to your core and through your upper body, you're going to cut it off and a lot less energy is going to transfer to your arm. Okay? So amateur pitchers, this is where you guys get into a lot of issues. You get to front foot, either one, our chest is already open, so we can't even use our chest, we have to use our arm, or we're in a good spot, but we don't think to rotate in our head, so we just go, oh, throw it with our upper body. Okay, so let that energy transfer from our hips up to our upper body. Be patient, rotate that chest, and then once our chest is rotated fully, right? So our feet facing the same way, right? And now our chest, right, that car analogy is now driven forward, okay? And now our arm is in external rotation, right? Have you ever seen that video of guys, their arm is laid way back? That's what this is right here. So our trunk developed all that energy, so our arm laid back into that stretch, right? So now we have that stretch in our arm, okay? Now, once our chest has gotten all the way out of the way, we're not even thinking about using our arm yet, but once we can't drive anymore, we created that stretch, and now we've given our arm a long arc, a lot of time, a lot of stretch, a lot of force to be able to go into internal rotation from that external rotation, okay? So I urge you guys, what you can take from this video is start thinking this way. Start thinking, okay, whenever I throw a baseball, now I don't need to perform as much right now. This is more of the off season. So think, okay, whenever I throw a ball, hips, chest, then arm. Start hacking at your movement patterns, right? Because I assure you, if I looked at video of any of you guys throwing, I would see an inefficiency in one of these sequences. One of them is out of whack and you're losing force that you could be using to throw a lot harder, right? So start thinking this way. Start thinking, okay, I need to rotate my hips first, and once they're done rotating, I can rotate my chest. And then once my chest is done rotating, then I can internally rotate my arm, okay? Think it slowly, or just think about one at a time. You can also do that. We'll be sending out drills here in a little bit, kind of analyzing each independent movement that you need to be working on. But for the time being right now, just think about, I need to generate all the force I can with my hips and pelvis, and then I need to generate as much force as I can with my torso and my shoulders, and then I'll use all the force I can with my upper body. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, drop a comment in the comments, DM us. Yeah.